So next point which we have, that is dropout. Alright. This is also very important point. Okay, this is called dropout layer. If you have heard anything about overfitting, so this dropout was introduced to overcome that issue of overfitting. Okay, how it works? Sometime while training the models with the input data or kind of training data, the model or individual neurons will start learning a particular pattern which is specific to the training data. Okay, so what happens if it is overtrained on those training data? So it will do a perfect predictions for the training data, but when you will give a new set of data or validation data, so it will not perform that well. Okay, so normally if you are getting a discrepancies between the validation predictions and training predictions more than 10%, that means your model is being affected by overfitting issues. Okay, for example, let me quickly draw a picture. Okay, all right. Suppose these are your input values. Okay. Right, so alright, for example, suppose this is one class. Okay, and this is another class you have. Okay, alright, so your target is to create one prediction so that we can separate these two different classes using your model. Okay, so when your model is tend to be overfitted, it will start doing the predictions something like this. Okay, suppose this is boundary. Okay, alright, so it will behave like this. It's sharp turns here and there. So if you are getting new examples, your model is not generic enough to kind of work properly with the new set of examples. Okay, so this is if you see these particular sections, it was overtuned only for this particular example. Okay, while the optimal model should have something like, okay, it will have one or two different sort of discrepancies, but that's okay. Okay, but if you do this overtraining, this model is basically tend to be overfitted. To overcome these issues, to add some sort of generalizations in your training, so they have introduced this particular component called dropout. Okay, what happens in dropout layer? While doing the training in a multi-layer, multi-neuron neural network, it will start dropping randomly a particular predefined number of neurons from each layers that you can control or you can define while drawing or creating that architecture. Okay. For example, if you create a dropout layer of 0.02%, okay, so what it will do, it will reduce the kind of 25% of the number of neurons it has in that particular layer randomly during training process, so that your model would not be over dependent on any particular neurons. Okay, and it would be comparatively generic, so you will have a lower discrepancies between your training accuracy and the validation accuracy. Alright, so if it is not clear, I will quickly draw one neural network, simple neural network. Okay, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, suppose this is one fully connected neuron. Okay, so I'm not drawing the kind of connection things. So during the initial training process with the dropout, maybe 25%. Okay, so what you do, this layer has the dropout of 2.5, this layer has dropout of 0.33, this has dropout of 0.5. These values you can define while creating those networks. It will take this input during first training process. Out of these 4, it will take only 3, and randomly it will take only 3. Okay, not necessarily this particular or these particular will be dropped. So any of these will be dropped while doing the training or doing the adjustment for the weights during the backward propagations. The next layer it will drop one of them. Next layer it will drop one of them, and then do the training. We'll do the predictions and we'll do the backward propagations. We'll adjust the weights accordingly. And again it will recalculate the values. During that process also it will skip one of the neurons. Okay, not necessarily the same neurons it dropped previous training. Okay, in this way what it will be, it will work. So randomly it will start reducing the dependencies on a particular neurons. Okay, so this will help to generalize your model, and you can get rid of overfitting up to some proportion. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Along with that, we have several other mechanisms which I'm going to discuss in next after some time. Basically, some of the concept called regularization, where you are going to do a penalty. You are introducing some sort of penalty over kind of exploding or tend to exploding weights for a particular neuron. Okay, that sections we are going to discuss in some time. For now, the concept of dropout layer is that during training process, it is going to skip the training for some of the randomly picked neurons, so that the training would not be over dependent, or predictions will not be over dependent on a particular neurons or a particular set of neurons. Okay, it will be generic and it will produce much better validation accuracy